So are we up? Let's see what's happening here this morning. Good morning, usual gang. It's going to be a quiet stream from this end this morning, obviously, as you can see. Just continuing where I left off on Monday. This period over the year end is going to be a chance for me to finally get caught up on work on this print, I hope. Our online business now has gone very, very quiet all of a sudden, after Christmas, of course, which is something we've been waiting for. It's been a really good year for us, but we need a quiet period now to catch up on some work. The shop itself is going to be extremely busy the next few days, right to the end of the year. We're almost now booked out completely for print parties. Many people are visiting with family for a year-end holiday. Lots from Australia and Europe. This morning, just for example, we've got 11 people coming for a print party. We're not going to do it all at one time. It's an 11-person family group coming for print parties. We're just basically, they've booked the whole place for the morning. And when they get here, we'll sort it out and see how many people, what we've got, and what we're going to do. So, but the online part of our business has gone very, very, very quiet. This right here in the middle is the thickest part of this. When it's thin up at the edge here, the space between the hairs, it's okay, but in the middle where they're overlapping like this, this is where it's the most crazy. Let's see what's happening here this morning. Good morning, everybody. So good morning. I know it's going to be, like I said, from my point of view, it's going to be a quiet stream today. I have to focus my attention on what I'm carving here, so I can't look back and forth too much to the chat. You know the deal about the questions. If it's something specifically, I'll pop this open for a while here. I can talk clearly, so I can answer questions and stuff, but I can't watch much of the chat that's going on here today. So those of you that were here for the stream on Monday, the video stream, that Hasui video, I really, really, really enjoyed doing that. I think it was something very useful. I'm going to try and figure out a way for future ones to do it where I'll be able to pause the video, because there's so many places there where I wanted to pause, explain something, and maybe then replay a bit like that. But the broadcasting software I've got here doesn't let me do that. I'm using OBS here on the Mac, and at least I haven't been able to figure out a way to be able to pause the video that I'm playing. If somebody has any advice on that, absolutely let me know, because for future videos that would be really, really an important thing. Pause the video, talk about it, and move on. Because I've got more and more and more videos like that, those old craftsmen working. That thing's too bright, isn't it? I tried adjusting the camera. Let me try it again. Where's my... Is that a bit better or is that too dark? What's better, the way it was first? Which is better, this one or the brighter one? Go back to the way it was. First was better. Hi. I think we'll sharpen in a minute here. The edge is gone on this thing. Let's finish this here and then do a sharpening. It's the tip. The little tip at the end is gone just then. Okay, let's get my sharpening stone out here. It's going to adjust the focus again, everything. Just a minute, let me get this out of the way. Questions. The original, I'm not sure what the question about two images stitching together. The original was in a book, so the left and right sides were carved on different wood blocks. The left and right side of the original image were on different wood blocks, and they only appeared together when the book was stitched together at the end stage. So they were carved separately, printed separately, and came together at the very last stage. I'm changing it. I'm just doing it as a single image, not as a book. We did do a traditional book a few years ago, the Henry Manga book, and that we did the same thing. There were spreads, and the left hand and right side were printed on different blocks at different times. When I made, to make this, I got a hold of an original. I don't own an original, but a friend of mine, Ueda-san here, he's got 3 or 4 copies of the original. He's a book dealer. And he lent the best copy he's got to me. So I scanned it. I think I scanned it at 1200 dpi, I think. And I didn't use Photoshop actually. I used an iPad for tracing this one. So it wasn't Photoshop, it was Pixelmator, Photoshop type clone software. There's a video about that. I know it's not on our normal YouTube channel. I have a separate YouTube channel for videos about this project. There's only one on there so far. I've got to get the next one put up. And it shows how I did the tracing. It's linked from the website we've got for this print, theoctopusprint.com. It's all one word, theoctopusprint.com. There's a video linked there, and that talks about the beginning of this project and what the original looked like, and it shows how I did some of the tracing to get this onto the block ready for carving here. This is a sharp angle that's going to break soon, you know, but it's what we need at this stage of the job. More email alerts. The fanfare is for somebody subscribing to our next year's series. Can I thank you if it happens to be somebody on this stream? They're coming in well. It's going to be a successful and fun series, I think. Okay, there's been 3 stones here now. I used 2 metal plates, but 3 stones. The first stage was Arato, rough stone. Second was Nakato, middle stone. And now this is the Shiageto, dressing stone, final dressing stone. None of this needed much because this knife is so small, it just sharpens in seconds rather than having to grind away. We would never use grindstones or something for our work. Front surface, back bevel, and then knock off a bit. It's still just too sharp. It'll break instantly, so I've got to knock off a bit of the bevel. and a bit of the tip. Looks good. Let's get back to it. Can we zoom in without losing focus? Now let's see how long we can go without breaking this. Just a few hairs, I think. Let's see. This is quite a contrast from that video we saw on Monday morning of Maida-san carving, The territory he was cutting. He cut more in seconds than I'm cutting in minutes, A different kind of work though, obviously. Ooh, I might have cut that one a bit too thin. Who knows, maybe. It's really hard to even think of this as cutting wood. We're really just sort of scratching it. There's such a slight amount of cutting being done, you know. I'm just scratching the surface here, you know. I can't cut down. There's just no room for the knife blade to go inside. So we're just scratching the wood here. It's not going to be trivial to print this, you know. These are so shallow, they're so close together. The pigment really wants to gum up inside. There's a piece. Out she comes. Pop. The contrast between this and the rest of the work I'll be doing today, at 10 o'clock I said we've got like 11 or 12 people coming for a double party session at 10 o'clock. Then there's another 5 people coming at 1 o'clock and more coming at 2:30. The rest of the day is going to be noisy chaos, laughing with people, making prints, fooling around in the shop, Contrast between that and this part of my day, At least it's the right way around, I get this done first and then the chaos starts. I think if it was the other way around, I don't think I could do it. And you can't settle down, you can't relax after doing that stuff, The parties are just chaos. Big ones, big parties. And starting today, we've now moved into our New Year's staff routine. Lots of the staff are gone now. They're off on 2 or 3 of them are traveling overseas, the rest of them with their families. So the staffing from here to the end of the year, it's going to be me and Kawai-san, because he's a single guy. And then Shiba-san, she's going to help out a lot. But almost all the rest of them are gone now. They'll be back January 4th. So we're down to a skeleton crew in the shop. And yet it's one of the busiest times of the year. Whatever you ask, well, why don't I just hire more people for the year end? You can't do that. You can't hire someone to come and do print parties for us, It's training, and people in the shop even. It's not like a shop assistant or a supermarket checker, They've got to know what the prints are. People are in the shop, they ask, what's this, who made it, what's the history? So we just can't hire just anybody off the street to do this, It's years and years to learn about this stuff, to be a level enough to be able to handle all the questions that come from the people in the shop, And they deservedly need to be able to know what they're buying, So to get staff that's able to explain this stuff, it's just impossible. Like in some bookstore, whatever, they're trying to find staff for a funky bookstore. You can always find people that read books and that have opinions and that know this and that know that. But, trying to find people that have knowledge about traditional Japanese woodblock prints, they just don't exist, of course. This is coming okay. It's going to need some trimming after I finish and do a test printing. Some of these are a bit too fat. Some of the joints are a bit clunky. After test printing, we'll be able to clean it up and see what's going on to a much easier extent. And test printing too, some of these lines, they're going to absorb water and swell up a little bit. Might have cut that one a bit too thin as well. Yeah, I think that one's gone. That's too bad. Yeah, it's too thin. It's disappeared. Don't do that twice in a row or there'll be a big empty patch here. What's happening here? Can't, no idea what you're talking about, sorry. Hour 3 of carving this area. What's my pace? I don't know, 0.5 square centimeters per hour. Sorry about this. Is there much left of Octolady to be done? This key block, no. I know there's just the last little patch here, and then I've got to clean off part of her face. And that's that. But that doesn't mean the print is nearly finished. You know, the color blocks for this print are not just areas of smooth, flat color. If you go back to the original design there's seaweed, little green things, there's all kinds of stuff that has to be cut on those rocks. These color blocks are going to take time. And even the color blocks have more dots. If you look at the octopus toning, the octopus color, there's dots on the key block all over the octopus. Some of these things here, these dots we had on the octopus skin. There's more dots on the color blocks, lots more dots on the color blocks. So we're not near the end of this print production at all. We've come a long way on it, but it's still a long way. And I'm still busy. I know starting in February, we've got a huge project that can't be postponed, that can't be pushed back. So I really can't put a date on when this thing will be ready. I'm sorry. Just, I know, what can I say? Just wait for it to happen. Process bit by bit by bit. If this were my job, nothing else but this, I'd have this out of here in a couple of weeks. But that's just not the way I'm able to work these days. So just get it little bit by little bit. Anyway, let me get back to it here. Oh, it is cold in here today. We were closed yesterday, so there were no heaters on. There's nothing going on. Tuesday was our closing day. You know. I think there were printers upstairs. I wasn't here, but nobody was in the shop yesterday. So it's become cold. Japanese buildings, no insulation at all. All the heating is by room heating. Such a smart country in some ways and such a dumb country in some other ways. You know, same as everywhere, just different smart and dumb points. Yeah, that one there was really too thin. I lost that one, unfortunately. I think we're past the thickest part now. They're starting to open out a bit. They were open here, then they became tight, 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 and now they're open.